Hey Aries risings and Aries suns. Thanks for joining me for your July 2019 horoscope. It's a big month as we have Mercury retrograde as well as the eclipses rolling through some pretty critical signs in your chart. We have the new moon solar eclipse happening tomorrow on July 2nd. That's a big one. You can probably already be feeling the energy. It's really quite charged when eclipse season comes around. Eclipses typically bring kind of big life events and endings and beginnings. So if you're kind of feeling like there's some big alterations going on, ride the wave, baby, because that's what's going on. Yeah, especially for you this month because these eclipses are taking place in a really strong part of your chart. So you're going to be really responding to these feelings of change. If people or things getting eclipsed in and out of your life, kind of just go with the flow of it, because eclipse time can be pretty emotionally intense. But yeah, so let's just kind of start with the new moon solar eclipse that's happening tomorrow. That is basically a new moon, but it's supercharged, right? So it's like a supercharged story happening in your fourth whole sign house. So you can kind of expect some changes and new developments and new narratives surrounding your home. Even going back to your early foundations and roots, you may be getting in touch with family you haven't spoken to in a while, or getting in touch with your own sense of family, going into the past, going into the kind of basement of your psyche, if you will, which can be daunting at times. But really, right now for you, you're not feeling your kind of normal extroverted self. You may be kind of just more prone to withdrawing this month. And I suggest you do, because right now you're like looking to nest. You're looking to kind of, make your home feel really good right now. You may be in the process of moving or changing homes, or having some pretty exciting stories come out regarding your home since it's eclipse season and it's happening in your fourth house. This could also be relationship to a parent. There could be some parental stuff that comes up for you, or news about your parent that you're kind of working with as well. Yeah, so that's a big possibility this time. But since it's a new moon, right, and it's solar, it's action oriented and event oriented. Whereas the lunar eclipse later in the month is a little more emotionally the response to that solar eclipse. So that's kind of the new moon energy around your fourth house right now. So really honing into your roots, honing into your home, and kind of following the story that's coming out regarding your kind of foundations in all senses of the word. Another kind of big thing to note this month is that on July 7th, Mercury is going retrograde. And for you now, Mercury has dipped into Leo, and it's a little bit more of a fun place for you. Thinking about your creative projects, thinking about romance and having fun and self-expression on your own stage. But really, Mercury is going to only stay there for a little bit of time. And Mercury is going to dip back into Cancer, into that fourth house that we were just talking about, where you're going to be, not so done with kind of processing the kind of emotional stories that wind up coming up for you with this eclipse and this kind of root awareness that you're having right now. So, down the line, on July 16th, that's when we have the full moon lunar eclipse in Capricorn. And for you, that's taking place in your 10th whole sign house, which is all about your career, your reputation, putting yourself out there in the world. It's kind of like, your zenith point in your career and how people see you and know you as. So, full moons bring this kind of major illumination and revelation, kind of culmination. And so, because it's an eclipse as well, it has this kind of highly charged emotional impact. So, this is going down in your 10th house, right? So, there's a big, strong awareness of your career and your reputation, what you're doing with it right now. And you may just be feeling like, oh, I'm not where I want to be, or like, where do I want to be? Or you could be having the opposite effect where you're like feeling really good about yourself, because right now, if you kind of spend your time, withdrawn and you recharge yourself, you're going to be able to apply yourself to your career even better, as the month proceeds. Right now, you have to work on your roots in order to keep reaching out and growing higher into the sky, higher into your reputation or your chosen career. So you have to kind of nurture yourself now in order to keep growing, because of course you have goals and you have these dreams, but you're feeling like, oh man, I'm so emotionally held back right now. But you have to pay attention to that in order to have any of this kind of evolving change occur on a career level. So you will be feeling, and because it's Capricorn, you can also be feeling like, oh man, I know I'm not good enough. I'm not where I want to be. I'm not up to par. Because, Saturn, Capricorn can make us feel like a little just not good enough sometimes, but don't listen to that feeling, especially because it's very sensitive to you. You're feeling super aware of like how you're publicly being recognized. You're aware of your reputation. Don't take it too hard. And eclipses also bring big change. So you could have a change in career, a change in home. I mean, these are like really critical axis angles in the chart. So for you this month, it's just like, whoa, what's going on? Like major foundational changes and shifts taking place. So, eclipses, like I said, they're wild cards. They kind of bring things in and out of our lives with this kind of really heavily charged energy, and there could be endings, there could be beginnings, there could just be major changes all the way around. If it's hitting something in your chart, if it's not really touching anything in your chart, you may just be kind of dimly aware of like the kind of themes I'm talking about. But if it's hitting something in your chart, you're gonna feel it. Yeah. So exciting times. But for you, ride the wave of that, because you're changing your home, you're changing your foundations, you're nurturing yourself. That's going to give you the power to keep reaching upward into your career and keep being ambitious and kind of following your dreams in that regard. So really exciting. So then, we have these eclipses, and it's going to be like a crazy month and Mercury retrograde with like just information and emotional awareness and emotional introspection being at the forefront. And, luckily at the end of the month, we have this new moon in Leo on July 31st, where that is going to kind of take us out of this emotional headspace, at least for you. And that's going to be a nice spot for you, because this new moon in Leo is going to offer you the opportunity to kind of start delving into a new narrative surrounding your creative story, around this kind of your own stage, your own personality, your own self-expression, and play, having fun again. So if it feels like an emotionally rocky month, it's all right. You're going to be fine. Just ride it out. At the end of the month, at least, there's like a much more playful, that new moon in Leo on July 31st. That's going to kind of lift you up and put some pep back in your step, if you will. And, kind of just give you some creative energy, some desire to have fun again, to explore romance and making art and making love and having all those kind of delicious good things of life. So at least you have that to look forward to. And this is going to be some pivotal stuff for you. Like, your life is changing. So even if it feels kind of daunting and hard at sometimes, know that this is all worthwhile, and it's going to pay off, whatever it is, whatever the story is. It's like where you're supposed to be, right? So I hope that you find this helpful, and you ride out the eclipses all right, and they're not too crazy for you. And good luck out there. All right, have a great month, Aries.